Well, hello everyone. I'm Gwen Preston of Resource Maven, and we are backstage again at the Metals Investor Forum. And I'm joined now by Leo Hathaway, who's here with another company that you may not have heard of because you started trading 3 weeks
February
ago.
22nd.
Yes. Yeah. So Golden Shield. Let's start with how Golden Shield came to be. I mean, you've been a geologist in the space for a long time. You've had a lot of successes. I'm sure you had lots of directions you could have gone sort of as the next step in your career. What is it that led you to Golden Shield? Why is this the thing that you're doing?
Well, I've always liked Guyana. I just feel it hasn't seen a lot of modern exploration. It's in South America, which I know very well. It's a stable jurisdiction. It's undergoing a huge oil boom right now. There's lots of money flowing into the country. Infrastructure's going in, which I think makes it a good time to be there. And there's an uptick in exploration activity there. So, you know, I think that's confirmed by that. I've been looking for a way to get into the country, which I found isn't that easy because you really need somebody who knows it, who knows the people there, because it's a very small country. Most of it's staked, so you have to do deals with underlying land owners, which isn't that easy as a foreigner coming in. So what really got the ball rolling was I met Hilbert Shields, who's Golden Star's ex-VP Exploration. Hilbert's Guyanese and Canadian. And he knows everybody. He knows all the prospects. He has extensive data for the whole country. So you know, we got along and we got going. We acquired 3 properties. You know, we got up and trading and funded, and we're just, as you say, we're just in our early days starting off. But I think things look pretty good.
So, I mean, yeah, when we first met to talk about Golden Shield, Hilbert is obviously integral to all of this, and he seems to know the country and the projects incredibly well. Marudi Mountain, you have 3 projects, like you say. Marudi Mountain is the flagship. The other 2 certainly have potential, but we'll just focus on one because you can only cover so much ground. Take us through Marudi Mountain. Like there's a resource there. It was drilled in an interesting way. There's targets. You have a bunch of targets, but really just the ones that you've been able to walk to so far. Talk about Marudi.
Yeah, Marudi's a 5,500 hectare property. It's big. It's seen exploration in the past from a number of companies. About 30,000 meters of drilling has taken place in 2 zones. The principal one being Mazoa Hill, where the resource is. And what Marudi has is grade. Some of the historic intercepts were really stellar, 56 meters at 9.88 grams. So that's what got my attention. And it really hasn't been very well explored. I think, in my opinion, the exploration is focused into the existing resource. We had a mag survey that hadn't been used by previous operators, so that helped a lot put the geology together. And as we went into the field, we keep coming across more and more prospects. So Mazoa Hill is the starting block, and that kind of gives me the reassurance that there's quality there in terms of grade and continuity. But there's a lot to do there, and it just has the right ingredients to me, something that can make a discovery.
And we talked about this in the Q&A session a moment ago. You have a table of the targets that you've identified so far and the work that you've done on them, you know, so that you can help rank them for which ones you're going to go after next and after that. But like you said, those are sort of the ones that are just right around where your camp is, because this Guyana as a whole is a country that's not very well explored, and then Marudi Mountain as a project the ground hasn't been walked by eyes that are looking for the kind of thing that you're looking for.
Yeah, that's right. And there's saprolite cover over all of Guyana, you know, which is basically a veneer of muddy clay. And so you have to find ways to see through that. You know, geophysics is one. Surface sampling can be a bit dangerous because things can move around in that environment. So we're being systematic. We bought an air core rig that we're gonna use to punch through that saprolite to the top of bedrock and sample there, so we know when we see an anomaly it's in place. And we'll just systematically work through our targets and rank them and drill test them.
And you've already drill tested, and you've already started drilling or done drilling in 2 places, at Mazoa Hill where the resource is, and then at Toucan Ridge, right?
Yeah, so at Mazoa Hill we We had to do some drilling just to confirm the historic resource to get it into 43-101 compliance, but we also took the opportunity to step out on the mineralization there and extend it. And in the first 3 holes, we've seen some indications of that. We found 2 new zones in the footwall of the deposit that hadn't been found by drilling before. So we're hopeful that we can expand that resource. And we drilled a prospect called Toucan Creek, where we had some high-grade trenches. And at Mazoa, the mineralization is hosted in a very distinctive quartzite that's white, hard, blocky, like big sugar cubes, and that's what carries the gold. And we saw that sticking out of the ground at Toucan Creek with surface sampling up to 38 grams a ton. So we took the opportunity of having the drill there, and we poked 6 holes into that, and we're waiting for results from that. So that's just one of 9 targets, and as I say, we're finding more, but there's a lot to do.
If you had your druthers, how many rigs would you have turning, or sort of what sort of scale would you love to attack this at? I'm not saying that you're going to, but there's a lot of opportunity here.
Yeah. So I think when you get into a zone, as we are in Mazoa Hill, I think the market expects you to drill off a resource, and that's what that's what I've been involved in other companies, and you try and get your arms around it until you have a global. You don't leave too much on the table, and then you put out a resource estimate. So I think as we get into zones, I think it justifies having a rig working on that, and then having a rig testing new targets and developing more zones is also important. But you need to make sure you don't get too far ahead of yourself and end up drilling things before you're ready, and that way you might waste some money. So I think it might be something that slowly builds, I guess is what
you're going to have to be patient with your own target list.
Yeah. But I think, I wouldn't be surprised if we moved to 2 drills fairly fast.
Fantastic. Well, good luck out there. 3 weeks of trading, or 2.5 weeks of trading. There's lots yet to come. I look forward to keeping up with the story, and thanks for joining me here today.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.